Tetris?
Tetris.
Tetris. Tetris. Tetris. It's the perfect game.
Team Marker, Tetris review, guys. Get right to it. Apple movie. Let's go. Action. What's going on, Alamo City Movie Talk fans? As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela at that cat and
this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. If you have not already, give a thumbs up on this review, guys. Hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell notification to get notified for our movie reviews. In this case, and trailer reactions. Ted Lasso reviews are coming out weekly, guys, because that's what studio allows us. And speaking of Apple TV stuff, because that's Apple TV show, Angela, what are we reviewing today?
So we're reviewing a surprisingly interesting film today. It is Tetris.
Tetris, guys. Tetris tells the story of how the world's most popular video game found its way to players around the globe. Business Hank Rogers and Tetris inventor Alexei joined forces in the USSR, which is Russia, of course, right? Risking it all to bring Tetris to the masses. Really bringing Tetris to the whole world, right? I mean,
really? Because in the movie they touch up, it was created in Russia, right?
Which a lot of stuff I didn't know.
And it was, created by, I think they pronounced it Alexei's, and shared as a free game. Yeah. But really, this story is about franchising and licensing it to, basically release it worldwide.
Yeah. This movie, I didn't know what to expect because Apple TV, though, they haven't really disappointed me whatsoever. Yeah. They've always gone, everyone knows this, right? Moviegoers, streamers out there, you guys know this. Apple TV has always done like the more artistic, more, not awakening films, but like, oh, I didn't know that happened movie. Like all this stuff. They really go into the depth of like their study and their story plot, and they're really concentrating on the main story here. And I feel like they did so with this, of course, with A-list actor, the guy himself.
Taron.
Yeah.
Is it Taron Egerton, I believe? Excuse me if you're pronouncing it wrong. But Kingsman. And he also does
Rocket Man.
He also does that, but he also does the voice of Sing, which I love him in as Johnny.
Nice.
So I really love the actor. So it was really cool to see him, take on this other role. Yeah. I know he's done some serious roles in the past. Yeah. But I really like seeing him on the big screen, and I was very curious to see not only him perform, but also where the story was going to go. There's so much history behind this game that I was not familiar with, and it was so interesting to see that, be written and be told.
Yeah, we saw a lot of familiar actors in here. Of course, the other one we could say very familiar is Toby Jones, because he's from Marvel Studios. He's done a lot of good stuff, but of course everyone's gonna know him popular from is gonna be from Tinker Tailor. He's also in there too, but more importantly, he's in Captain America. He makes a superhero.
Yeah, he's the scientist.
So everyone's gonna know him more so from that role, because that's what the Hollywood fame and all that stuff. So but besides all that, this movie surprised me so many different ways to where I didn't know I was gonna love this movie. This movie is so good. No spoilers, by the way, guys. We're not gonna take any spoilers. This movie really takes. I didn't think I would feel such a nerve wracking or nail biting in a movie like this. And this runtime to be an hour 58 minutes. I think that was a really good runtime. Mm-hmm. Knowing that it takes, I didn't know this though, right? I didn't know the whole origin story. You play Tetris though, right? You're a huge.
I love Tetris. It is funny because like a lot of the movie itself, it's not a lot of action, really, to be honest. It's not.
Well, all it is, I call it action dialogue.
Yeah. So it's a lot of like back and forth. Yeah. And a lot of anxiety caused by like what's happening. Yeah. Because really, at the end of the day, it's a big fight on licensing. Yeah. Who owns the license and distributing rights to this game? Yeah. And it's so much like kind of like not say back talk, but like deals made behind each other's backs and lawyers involved, a lot of jargon along these licensing terms that they talk about. But it's just so good. Yeah. It's like, again, it's very legal jargon, but it's so good because it's like you feel the pressure and you feel like, again, like the backstabbing and like the under the deal tables. You feel all that, and it's really good. I really love the way the main actor performed. I think he did a very phenomenal job. He really and I know we had to look up a little bit of the stuff, right? Because we're just like,
is he really Dutchess? But yeah, he actually
he's a Dutch game engineer.
But grew up in America and then now living in Japan. It's crazy, man. The multicultural is crazy. This guy's done it, right? He has that multicultural. They even call him a cowboy in the film. Taron, he does such a really good job. He really does. He does a phenomenal job, fantastic job. I enjoy a lot of his moments to where he's talking to himself in a weird way to where like I gotta get this done because I'm on the this is what's gonna happen.
A lot's on the line.
Yeah,
a lot of it, and it's a lot of.
And he dedicates his life to it. He really does. In a way, we see that from the trailer. He dedicates his life.
Literally stakes a lot of his life on this game. He puts all his eggs in one basket, if you will, and you see the pressure it takes on him as this unfolds. I loved him in there. I loved all the rest of the cast, and I think the story was very great. It's really cool to see this behind the scenes of what happened in this game because if certain events didn't go away, we wouldn't have it. It wouldn't be released to the world.
And knowing where the time was at because it was during that,
the 80s.
The 80s, Russia, America, they don't like Americans. Even
communism.
so communism, the whole Communist Party. We're going to get to a political side of it, but they do, it plays a huge factor in this movie because of Tetris, where it comes into America and all that stuff, because it was a huge popular game. It originated from Russia. So we knew there was going to be some mention of communists here.
Of the government,
I like how they really didn't go to. I think that wasn't the point, though. They didn't go too political. They mentioned politics, right? Because there was not too much, though. It wasn't like to the extent of like it was more politics side of Russia was like, oh crap, they don't let them do this.
Because they show like how the government was at that time, and how
it still is, right?
And so it definitely had a lot to play with the battle and getting this licensing right was the Russian government, and they showcased that. So I really liked seeing that too.
Egerton, he really plays that role so well. There's so many moments to where in the movie where you're like, he almost is that guy. He almost is Mr. The Rogers. He's almost is him in a way to where like it's so believable. It's so I feel like he plays a different character, and it's crazy because this is the guy that played Kingsman. This is the guy that played Elton John. This is the guy like. And they're all three different separate roles.
Yeah, they're
all three separate
done voice
roles.
acting. He's done like comedy, action, now drama. So I mean, he's such a well-rounded actor, I think, and he does very well in his performances. So I got to say, this was a very good movie. It surprised me, to be honest. It really did. I was a little unsure about it. I was like, what? Because you think about it. Oh, a movie about Tetris. What?
I didn't know all this stuff happened. That's the thing. It's just like makes you want to go back and be like, oh man, all this stuff really did happen in order just to get this console, in order to get the rights to this game.
And I will say though, it's pretty cool when they talk to Nintendo. Yeah. I will say that was really cool. We don't want to spoil it, but you see pretty cool things, and it was like the little nerd in me was like, ah.
Yeah, and I love how the nostalgia just like of the sayings that he used, because they're using it at that current time because Martin the Nintendo came out, and Mario and Luigi are the biggest thing because it's Nintendo, and he mentions a lot. I like how they mention a lot of like the current characters that they are using.
Classic games like Zelda and Link.
Yeah, that was so good. That was so cool.
Good. It was cool.
That was awesome. And knowing where we're all originated from in a weird way, granted, and we played it. I played it. I mean, we all played it. It was just going back to our childhood all over again. I loved it.
So I gotta admit that was a pretty cool throwback. When they were at the Nintendo Lab. So
and we did mention too, like a lot of the nostalgia of the Tetris, which I love because Apple does this so well, right? They make such great artistic films. What I loved about this was that a lot of the music from the Tetris is in this game.
It's like a remastered version of it. And really the graphics too. Like I gotta say, like how it'll say like level 1 and it'll have like a pixelated screen.
That was cool.
And like level 2 as like the different, like beginning, middle, ends happen. It was really cool.
That was fantastic. I love that. I love how intuitive it was to because this is like the Tetris, right? We're gonna keep the same theme, we're gonna keep that same momentum, and I love that because that's what movies should do. This is what movies should do. Keep that same momentum going, keep that same genre in its way because it kept that same theme. I love that it kept it going. I loved we've seen so many, even so the whole Russia diabolical plan of like Russia trying to get the most out of their buck and all that. We saw that a little bit more, so it's really intuitive to where like, oh man, it's it's surprising me because it's just like a lot of stuff we did not know. Granted, maybe moviegoers, maybe fans of the Tetris, y'all read the books and all this stuff because there is books about it. Obviously, maybe you knew about this. Did this satisfy your need for the film? Because to me, I thought it did. I mean, to me, this is really good. I enjoyed myself in the theater. If we saw this in theaters, I would have enjoyed myself. Granted, we did not get a chance to see it in theaters, which sucks because I feel like this is a movie that I feel that you should watch first time in theaters. Just because it gets you, it's just almost like it's not like the Adam Sandler film, The Righteous. Like it's not like that. It's not like that whatsoever. Not to that certain extent, but you kind of feel like, oh man, he's gonna be able to make it. He's gonna make it all right, especially if you do not know the story. I'll say that.
I mean, obviously, we know to an extent what's gonna happen in the end because it is.
We are playing Tetris.
We're all playing Tetris. It's millions of copies. Sold since the 80s or 90s since they came out. So we obviously know. But again, in the moment when you're watching this, you are feeling like that tension, like, oh my gosh, is he, like you say, is he going to make it? Is everything going to be okay? You're kind of rooting for his character. And the curator, his character as well. So I really like the way it was.
This is just a really fantastic way to show us behind the scenes exactly how Tetris was made, how it was distributed. A lot of stuff, once again, I did not know. I've watched this movie more than twice already, so it's really good, solid film, guys. But if you have not already, be sure to check that movie out at a theater near you. Was this a film we deserved? I'm going to say yes, 100%. Rating 1 out of 10, 10 being the highest, Angela. What are you going to say? Because I love this movie. Did you love this movie?
I did. I really did. I would give it a solid 8 because it was... great cast. The story was surprisingly interesting. You know, I didn't know what I was going to expect going into this, but I was very surprised. I love the way it was written, the flow of it. I think the runtime was great. Overall, I think it's a very exceptional film. You know, I thought the KGB did a really good job. The actors and everything who played the KGB, they did a really fantastic job. It almost was like, like the Russians. Like it sucks because they're pretty scary. You kind of get into that moment of like, oh man, they weren't allowed to do this, they weren't allowed to do that, because you kind of touch up on that a little bit. And I love how they did that because it's like, dude, you gotta, you have to realize this is why the Tetris wasn't distributed in Russia. This is why it wasn't made. And I like that because it's an insight into that, into his that his time period, pretty much that region, that country. Yeah, definitely. And I'm gonna have to give this a solid 8.5. Give it a solid 8.5, almost a 9 for me. And maybe rewatching it another time and maybe rank it up again, because I was at an 8 and I moved it to 8.5 because there's so much of the acting chops of him that you really just like have to really rely on, and he really brings it on because he's on camera most of the time. He's the main character, right? He's the main plot of the story. He is on the poster itself. It's like, dude, like this guy needs to bring his A game, and I feel like he thought, I really thought he did, and I'm a fan. I can't wait to see what else he's going to be more involved in. Maybe we'll see him in a DC movie. You never know. But he's a very... You always want someone to be in a DC. When they're A-list actors, I want them to be in a DC movie. That's all I'll say that. But I mean, he would be great. I think so. Somebody. We'll find out. We'll find something for him. All right, guys. But if you have not already, like, share, subscribe to us. Hit that subscribe notification. Get notified for more reviews. If you have not already, thank you so much. We do recommend this movie for giving it above average, and we do recommend this. See Tetris. It actually comes out this coming Friday on March the 31st. Comes out opening weekend. It'll just be available for that weekend, maybe a second weekend. I didn't see it for a second weekend. Maybe it'll get updated later on, depending on traffic. But as of right now, it's just opening on the 31st, and then Apple TV the following week. But yeah, all right. Thank you guys so much. If you haven't already, once again, guys, like, share, subscribe to us. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D. aka Ryan680. I'm Angela, that Kelly Ange. And this is Alamo City Movie Talk. Movie Talk for all movie fans, guys. Have yourself a wonderful day. Stay safe, San Antonio. Catch you later. Peace.